Hey, so usually I would do this, but I felt it. I felt it needed to be done, especially with the message earlier. Um, I just saw a video from Benny Johnson. I'll get I'll link to that in the description below, if I can. But the video from Benny Johnson said what updating us on the fact that there was a bomb underneath a Fox News van. They've they have suspects. They have two suspects who they think perpetrated it. So and lucky no one was heard, seen. From what I can from what I can tell anyway, everyone was evacuated. But yeah, I say that to say this. I bet there's a message. Oh yeah, they're not. They're not de-escalating. I mean, this evil, this you have to whatever you wanna call it. It's not de-escalating. So if you, I mean, we shouldn't go looking for trouble. Obviously, we should kind of try to de-escalate the situation. But they are not de-escalating. That's why we need to keep on keeping on. It's gonna get rough out there, especially for more prominent conservatives like Charlie Kirk. We already know. Well, I don't know what happened to him. I mean, I'm just a guy with a nothing YouTube channel, really. But yeah, I'm just encouraging my conservative brothers and sisters, my Christian brothers and sisters, a number of which is funny if you think about it, because not every single conservative I'm gonna say, but most conservatives I do find to be Christian or at least have Christian values, and that's what this evil, that's what this enemy hates. Ultimately, it is evil. It is the devil that possess these people, so to speak. And like I say, promises and the devil promises an easy road. And what the devil also says is anyone who disagrees with you, or anyone who disavows you, or tries to speak tries to speak something else to you, is is your enemy. It's your which while I'm on subject too, I was just talking to my nephew about this, and it's kind of funny how it came up. I won't get into all that, but I did tell him what the Bible says, and that Jesus said to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, and we should do that. I understand how some people can be just up and off furious about this. I understand. I already dealt with one of my friends that was able to have the privilege of calming him down and said, "Hey, listen, brother, I get I get that. I totally get where you're coming from, but we cannot let hate overcome us. Remember Saul." I mean, if you don't know the story, Saul was a prominent persecutor of Christians. I mean, prominent persecutor of Christians under the guise of serving God, which is something else that the devil can also work in. But then, um, but then he saw Jesus on the road to Damascus after he'd been crucified and already ascended into heaven from raising again. Saw Jesus, and from there it was um it was a journey for him. It was 3 days, But from there, he centralized the power of Jesus and became one of the most prominent writers in the New Testament. He wrote like 13 books of the new 13 13 books. There's 27 books of the New Testament and all. Paul wrote 13 of them. It is to speed. But God, that said this, that's to say that to all of us, that God can work, well, at that say God can work through evil. And he can, but what I mean to say is God can take an evil person and turn them around for him. Yeah, he can. Jesus always flipped your perspective. Jesus always flipped your thinking. And also, while we shouldn't yet hate overcomers, while we shouldn't be this while we should dupe the evil devil, is well, we also needed salvation, like these people do. We weren't the same boat as they were. Jesus gave us grace and Jesus gave us mercy. Now, that doesn't mean I've seen this sort of get twisted. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't require justice. Jesus and God also require justice. So that doesn't mean that we let people get off scot free for bad behavior. But that does mean we shouldn't totally consider them beyond the pale or beyond redemption. They have to want to be redeemed. If they don't want to be redeemed, that enmity with God. And we have full jurisdiction to call them out and to deal our justice if it deserved. However that comes forth. But God can turn the evil one's hearts. I mean, and for that because he's the only one who can. He's the he's the only one who can turn a demon into a saint, so to speak. Because if we give grace and if we give them that opportunity, then there's no telling what the world can turn into. Ultimately, God is gonna have the final victory. It'll take some time, and God will give people ample opportunity to come to Him. But even His grace and even His mercy is gonna run dry. But we mustn't tarry, for today is the day of salvation. We must speak Christ to people. It's not our job to get them to listen. It's their job to listen and God's job also to convict. But we must speak to people. And if they don't listen, well, we've done our jobs. And we can continue to pray for them. One of the most powerful things you can do is to pray for someone. Even if it and that's why the devil ultimately wants to demonize prayer as not doing anything really. You hear that meme, thoughts and prayers and everything. It's a meme with the app now. Thoughts and prayers that can't pray for. You can't pray for someone who's passed on or something. But the most powerful thing it can do is prayer. Even if it seems not to work out in your timing, if you love God and if you do what is right by Him, then eventually He will give you more. He will give you more than you ever imagined possible. And that's in the medical, that's in a metaphysical context too. You have the keys. You have the key to heaven. You have a passport to heaven if you do what God requires of you. If you love Him with all your heart, if you love Him with all your soul, if you love Him with all your strength. And heaven has a very strict immigration policy. I mean, it's incredibly strict. You've got to, yeah, I can say it is an incredibly strict immigration policy. Narrow the way that leads to heaven, that leads to life, but broad and wide is the gate that leads to destruction, and many will find it. But God will give them ample opportunity to come to Him, and if they don't, ultimately, He'll give them what they want, which is separation from Him. Even if they, even if in this life they didn't believe He exists, ultimately, either at the end of time or at the end of their life, whichever comes first, they're going to come to realization that God is reality. And every what God has been saying. And we only want what's best for them because it's true. People don't know what's best for them. We don't know what's best for them. But the only one who doesn't know ultimately what's best for them is God. We can be a messenger. We can be a messenger for what the Bible says. But ultimately, we're not preaching our message. We're preaching God's. And we will be hated because of that. But also, God will be with us. God's given us a charge. God's given us the ability. God's given us no excuses. We should go. Because what can the enemy do to us except give us to the arms of Jesus? Guys, I love you. I'll see you when I see you. I won't say I'm probably not going to do something like this again, but this was kind of was a moment. So I may do something like this again. I don't know. But God bless you. Have a great day. And I'll see you when I see you.